Hey everybody, today we are in Florence, South Carolina at Florence Veterans Park. It is Veterans Day, so we're gonna go around and show you the nice park that's in Florence to honor the veterans. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yep, so I'm gonna show you actually where it's located at too, because even though we had been by here tons of times, we never saw it until a couple of years ago. So I'm gonna show you exactly where it's at. So whenever you first get here, if you're familiar where the previously known Florence Civic Center was at, and now it is the Florence Center, it is right here. So if you're ever in town, definitely come and visit because it's a wonderful place. So I'm gonna walk around and show you what all's here. So this is the sign that you see whenever you first get over here. And you can see the beautiful design on the back of it. So this says Florence Veterans Park, dedicated November 11th, 2008 to all PD area veterans who have proudly served in the United States Armed Forces. And over here on this side it says Congressman Ed Young and the Byrd Estate, in recognition of donating the property dedicated as Florence Veterans Park, November 11th, 2008. And that shows everybody that was here for that. And so over here, this is in honor of Purple Heart recipients. They paid for our freedom with blood. All gave some gave all. It's very true. And on this bench here, they have that saying. So this over here is for the Gold Star Families Monument, a tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom and the families they left behind. And that shows who the Gold Star Families Monument was made possible by. And it shows it on that side as well. And also, if you look closely, you can see that's the outline of a soldier saluting. And this right here has different people's names on it and when they served. And also where they served at. So this is what's on the back of the Gold Star Monument. And it says the Gold Star Family Monument recognizes the pain, grief, and agony that Gold Star family members endure with the death of a parent, child, spouse, sibling, or other loved ones who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving in the United States Armed Forces. The men and women who serve in the uniforms of our military are the strength and stability of our nation, and the stability and strength of those men and women who, well, are dependent on the families at home. No one is given more for our nation than the families of the fallen. We as a country are forever grateful for the sacrifices of these families and their loved ones who gave it all. And it says, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Matthew 5:4. And that was on November 11th, 2019. If you look up on the hill, you'll see all the flags of the armed forces up there and the American flag. This one says, along with memories, this monument is presented to the people of Florence for their exceptional hospitality and kindness. Sculpted in memory of my parents, Fanny and Marcus Palkovich, survivors of concentration camps, Auschwitz and Mauthausen, and liberated by the U.S. Army and Allied Armed Forces. And that's Alex Palkovich, sculptor 11/11/2016. So if they have this ready for Veterans Day, you might see it completed if you come and visit. It's actually October 30th today, whenever I'm filming this, but I thought it was so very important to come and film it while I was off today, so it could be shown for Veterans Day, because it's a wonderful thing they have up here. And I wish that I could walk straight, but they're doing construction, because I believe that part over there is off the World Trade Center, I believe. Some of the steel, I can't remember. I'd have to look back in my old pictures, but I know something here is off of it if it's not that piece right there to the left. This said, the U.S. Navy Monument was made possible by Patriots Point Maritime and Naval Museum, Reginald A.T. Armstrong, GE Healthcare, King Cadillac Buick GMC, and Brown Memorials, and a few other businesses. So this has got USS South Carolina, 1909 on it. And it's the ship's bell. And it says, to the men and women of the United States Navy, fair winds and following seas. It says the sailor's creed is, I am a United States sailor. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I will obey the orders of those appointed over me. I represent the fighting spirit of the Navy and those who have gone before me to defend freedom and democracy around the world. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, encouragement, and commitment. I am committed to excellence and the fair treatment of all. So that is for the Navy right here. So on this beautiful monument, it says for the Marines and the Navy on this side. And I'm gonna come on over here to the monument for the United States Army. And it says loyalty, duty, respect, selflessness, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. United States Army, 1775. So this down here is the Soldier's Creed, and it says, I am an American soldier. I am a warrior and a member of a team. I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values. I will always place the mission first. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. I will never leave a fallen comrade. I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough, trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills. I always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself. I am an expert and I am a professional. I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat. I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life. I am an American soldier. So that is located over here at the Army display. On this side, we have the Army and the Merchant Marines. And on this side, we have the Air Force and the Coast Guard. So over here, we have Desert Storm, and it says to the men and women who answered the call, Desert Storm 1991. I was actually alive whenever that was going on. I wasn't alive for all this, but I was alive for this one. And this over here is for Korea, and it says in honor of all Korean War veterans, and it was called the Forgotten War. And that tells who this was made possible by. And this side says, freedom is not free, 1950 to 1953. United we stood. And this was the USS Arizona. Must be a piece off of it. And it says USS Arizona BB-39 was a U.S. Navy Pennsylvania class supernaut battleship built in the second decade of the 20th century and named in honor of our 48th state. She was used for training and escort duty and as a representative of U.S. interests abroad before being transferred to Pearl Harbor in April 1940. Sunday morning, December 7, 1941, the Japanese launched a surprise attack on Hawaii. The USS Arizona was hit by torpedo bombers during the attack. A torpedo detonated the ammunition supply magazine, causing a massive explosion and sinking the ship. The centerpiece of this monument is the rusty relic from the bulwark of the USS Arizona. It is a symbolic of the date what they live in infamy when 1,177 sailors and Marines of the USS Arizona perished during the attack. May they never be forgotten. And that's the certification right there. And this tells who the benefactors are. So this over here says, dedicated to the men and women of Florence County who answered the call of America in World War II, and in memory of those who gave their young lives for God and country. It was placed by the United Daughters of the Confederacy of Florence, South Carolina in 1947, and it says this plaque was originally displayed at the library on Irby Street. The Florence Veterans Park is honored to display it, and it is grateful to the Florence County Library System for the donation. So on this wall over here, you have the oath of enlistment. So this talks about the generosity of the following made the tribute to our Vietnam veterans possible. And here's the monument for them. It says, dedicated to those who served in Vietnam from 1955 to 1975. Oh, this is pretty. This over here says the World War Monument is donated by the American Legion, Fred H. Sexton, Post 1, Florence, South Carolina. We honor and revere the men who gave their last full measure. While we cannot change history, we can recognize our failures of the past, and thus, regardless of race or color, we rededicate this monument so that future generations will know the sacrifices made by all Americans to keep our country, our great country, free. And that was on November 11th, 2016. And this talks about who was from Florence County who gave their lives in the World War from 1914 to 1918 to the end that liberty should not perish from the earth. These heard the bugle when it blew, calling for men both brave and true. These answered sweet freedom's call, and doing so gave their all. And that was rededicated in 2016. And this also says, in memory of the servicemen from Florence County, South Carolina, who gave their lives in the World War 1914-1918. To the end that liberty should not perish from the earth. This was erected in 1928 by the American Legion Rifle Platoon of Florence under the auspices of Fred H. Sexton, Post No. 1, American Legion, and American Legion Auxiliary. So this dog over here, I don't see its plaque today, but if you go to my website, travelingthesoutheast.com, and read the story that I wrote about it several years ago, the artist that made it actually commented on it and told the story. So if you'd like to see that, it's on the internet. And I was pretty excited too that the artist actually responded. And he told the story about the dog. And it was really, really nice. Okay, I looked it up myself. He said that the dog is running to the home safe, and that's to the soldiers that came home safe from the war. But I think I did pretty good on that thing that I wrote, if you would like to read it. And this over here is a beautiful area. Oh, well, here's actually the part about the dog. It says Home Safe, dedicated to all men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces and to their families who have provided fidelity and loving support. Home Safe was designed and sculpted by Florence resident and internationally acclaimed sculptor. And this is Florence Veterans Park. Recognizes the following people and organizations for their contributions to the Home Safe Memorial. And this one tells all who was on Florence City Council at the time. So I do believe this right here represents what so many went through whenever they did get back home to their loved ones. You can see that the man and woman are embracing because they haven't seen each other for such a long time. The little boy's got his whole body wrapped around his daddy's legs. The little girl is hugging her father. You can tell she hasn't seen him in a while. And that right there is just a look of happiness because they're so happy that he came back home safely. And over here on the back, you can even see where he threw his duffel bag down just so he could embrace his family. And then on this side, you can just see the happiness in the little girl's face. Such a beautiful statue. That's such a beautiful tribute as well. Okay, the one over there is for the Coast Guard, but there's people over there, so I couldn't read everything. But this one over here, it says the United States Air Force Memorial is given to the Florence Veterans Park by Brown Memorials of Florence, South Carolina, dedicated November 11, 2015. And this one says, let this monument serve as a reminder of the men and women who have served in our nation's Air Force. Their loyalty and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. So this bench right here says, in love and memory and in honor of our men and women who proudly served in the United States Armed Forces. And that was donated by the Greek Orthodox Church ladies. And this one is given in honor So this one right here is for the Marines, and it says on that bench, once a Marine, always a Marine. And this one says a band of brothers. And this is the Marine Corps League of Florence, South Carolina. Uncommon valor was a common virtue. And it says the United States Marine Corps was established November 10th, 1775. Detachment 410, chartered October 14th, 1977. Monument dedicated May 1st, 2010. This one over here is for the Merchant Marines, and this plaque down here says the Merchant Marine Monument was made possible by the Daughters of the American Revolution, Samuel Bacote chapter of Florence, South Carolina. And this says United States Merchant Marine. United States Merchant Marine in honor of the thousands of Merchant Marines for faithful and dedicated service to the United States of America. This side says in peace and war. And this one was dedicated September 11th, 2015. This says, in honor of all American prisoners of war and missing in action. Dedicated by Rolling Thunder, South Carolina, Chapter 4, Florence, 2008. And this one says, never forget. And over here we have the chair that has the Armed Forces names surrounding it. And it says, dedicated by Rolling Thunder, on August 13th, 2016. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the video for the Florence Veterans Memorial in Florence, South Carolina. It is truly a special place. I do hope that you enjoyed the walk around. If you did, stay for the entire video. It's a beautiful park, and I just wish I would have known that it existed sooner than I did, because it's been back there since 2008, and I visited it for the first time in 2020. That was the first time you visited as well. I think you knew it was here though, but I didn't.
I knew it was here because I worked with people that talked about it.
Yeah, but it's truly a beautiful place, and it's very well done. It's very well kept up. I think it's a great way to honor the veterans.
It is, because some of the veterans never got the recognition they really needed back then. That's just like the Vietnam War. They did not get the recognition when they came home. It was just like they was pushed under the rug.
But at least they're honored today.
Yep.
So that's very important, because you always have to remember, if it wasn't for these people, we would not have the kind of life we have.
You would not have the freedom you got.
Yes. So I do hope that you enjoyed the video if you did watch it. As I said earlier, it was filmed before Veterans Day, even though it's being released on Veterans Day, because I'm back at work, so I don't have free time just to go anywhere and everywhere. Mom's coughing over there, so anyway, if you did enjoy the video, I hope you did, and if you ever get a chance to come see this, come see it. You need to come see it. It's, like I say, it's very well done.
I was able to walk around with you today.
Yes, I think the last time I did it by myself.
Yeah, you did it by yourself.
Yep.
My neighbor to walk.
Yep.
With the help of doctors, they give them shots.
Yes. So anyway, that's it. That's it.
If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Donna says it only takes a second.
It does only take half a second of your life to hit subscribe. So, and if you'd like to share this video, you can share it. I think it was it's a very important video to honor the military, the men and women of the military. And you can comment on it. I love comments. I definitely like thumbs up. And if you don't mind, you could subscribe as well, like Mom asked. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. I'll see you somewhere in the future. This video is being released on November 11th. So we'll see what happens. Toodaloo. Bye.